Hello, and welcome to another episode of RentReady with Stephenson's, where we discuss the general application, operating procedures, and safe handling of our tools and equipment. Today, we're going to be spotlighting our series of road breakers. Before we start our job, we're going to want to make sure that we've got the correct PPE. Always a good pair of safety glasses or goggles, a good pair of work gloves, some ear protection, either in the form of an earmuff or a good set of earplugs. We want something for dust control, either an N95 mask at minimum or a respirator, especially when dealing with concrete dust, and a good pair of CSA work boots, as well as any other site-specific PPE that may be required. We have two different options in our road breaker series. We've got our battery operated unit and we've got our 110 volt electric unit. Both units use the 1 1/8" air tool steel or 1 1/8" locking steel. Let's go ahead and take a look at the different types of steel options we have for these two units. We've got our standard chisels and points for breaking concrete. We've got our ground rod driver, which will accept anything up to a 1 inch in diameter. We've got our asphalt spade for breaking asphalt. And we've got our clay spade for digging trenches. Let's go ahead and take a look at our battery unit first. It's got a vibration dampening system. This is going to prevent user fatigue and extend the amount of time the user can work with the tool. We've then got a 72 volt battery system, which on a single charge will break roughly 2 sidewalk slabs. When we're ready to charge the battery, we simply remove the old battery out, grab our new one, we can slide it right into place, and then we're going to put the battery that needs to be charged on charge for 90 minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at our electric road breaker. Some of the key features are, we've got the vibration dampening handle. That's going to prevent user fatigue and extend the usable tool time. We've got a trigger switch, which turns the unit off and on. It can be used either in the right hand, or you can turn around and use it in the left hand. The unit requires a 12 gauge extension cord and will run off a 2500 watt generator. So let's go ahead and do our pre-use inspection and I'll show you how to put the steel in. So the first thing we're going to check is the handles. Make sure that there's no cracking or damage to the handles. Make sure that the trigger is intact. Next, you're going to check the casing for any cracks or damage. Then we'll look at our cord. We're going to check and see if there's any nicks, frays, or exposed wires. And then we're going to check our plug, make sure that there's no burning or scorching on the plug. If it's equipped with a ground plug, make sure the ground plug is intact. Next, we're going to take the unit off of the cart and then we're going to take a look at the chuck. So now that we have the chuck here, let's take a look, make sure that our springs are intact and that there's no cracks or any damage. And let's make sure that the chuck locking arm is free moving. Now I'm going to show you how to insert a piece of the 1 1/8" air tool steel with the collar. So we're going to want to make sure that this is just past 90 degrees. We're going to take the piece of steel, drop it into place, and pull back on the locking arm. We now have that locked into place. The locking steel is a little different, so we're going to pull this out. The locking arm is going to come past 90 degrees towards you. And then we're going to take a look at the steel, and you see that there's a notch in the steel. We're going to want to make sure that the notch is facing this direction towards you, and then we're going to lock that into place. So now let me lift the unit up and I'll show you how it operates. So the first thing we want to do is plug our cord into our 12 gauge extension cord and then into our power source. We're then going to look for an open edge on our concrete slab that we can break into. If this isn't an option, then we can create a hole, remove that concrete, and we can break in towards that hole. We're going to start at a 90-degree angle to the concrete, and as we start to form that crack, we're going to lower the machine down to 60 degrees, which pushes that concrete forward into the open area. We want to make sure that we don't go past 90 degrees because we have a serious risk of back injury and breaking the springs and the steel on the machine. Thanks for joining us for another episode of RentReady with Stephenson's. You're now ready to rent one of our road breakers. But remember, before you start any job, stop, think, and then act.